A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another, well, not so much a book review, but I am going over the stories in Marvel Cosmic Universe by Donny Cates. This covers his run on Thanos, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Inhumans, and Silver Surfer Black. Donny Cates is an author that I have become really enamored with. An author, I say a comic writer. He's probably an author, whatever. Let's fucking wax idiotic with the terms here. He's a comic writer that I've become really enamored with. I think his work is phenomenal. He has made me interested in characters that I wouldn't otherwise give a flying fuck about. Characters like Thor, the Inhumans, what he did with Punisher will just blow your fucking mind. What he does with the Juggernaut will blow your mind. Trust me, it's well worth watching this video to find out. But there are going to be a ton of spoilers for the comic books and the stories collected in this omnibus. So if you don't want any spoilers, please go and watch another one of my videos. Or go and check out Plaguelands Media, see all the cool stuff that we're doing. You can go to our website, you can follow us on Facebook and all that other stuff if you're not interested. If you are interested, you know, it's well worth checking out. These stories are phenomenal. I'm not even going to hide how much I fucking love this collection. And this is one that is going to be staying in my graphic novel collection for a long time. I will definitely not be getting rid of anything that Donny Cates has written. I can go back and read this over and over again and still be surprised. Art, phenomenal. Everything is great. But you know what? Don't take my word for it. Just fucking keep watching the next episode of... So this is Marvel Cosmic Universe by Donny Cates. Please excuse my voice. I might cough a little bit in this video. It is certainly not intentional. Donny Cates came to my attention with his graphic novel from Image called God Country, which is just phenomenal. But I also really loved his run on Thor as well, which is what got me into looking into some of his other stuff. Now, when it comes to Marvel Comics, I'm really not one for all the kind of space adventures and things like that. I kind of like it. The heroes in the city, back on Earth, 616, so on and so forth. But because this was Donny Cates, I thought, you know what? I'll give this a go. This collects a number of his miniseries or story arcs. So let's just jump straight into the first thing you'll notice as well. The artwork is absolutely spectacular. Pardon me. So the first story arc is called Thanos Wins. Runs for 6 issues plus an annual. And it basically begins with the narration explaining that there is one inevitable thing in the Marvel universe, and that is that the universe is destined to end. And if you ask all the heroes how it's going to end, they are going to tell you the exact same thing. Thanos wins. Those of you who don't know who Thanos is must have been living with your head under a rock, because he was the main villain in the Phase 1 and Phase 2 Marvel Universe films. So we go to the Chitauri home planet. You might remember the Chitauri from Avengers. And Thanos has basically taken it over, and the king of the Chitauri is begging him to spare his people. And Thanos basically says, "Kings don't beg," and crushes his skull. The Chitauri make Thanos their new king. Thanos, of course, is basically just sitting there on the throne, reveling in all of this adulation, but not really, because Thanos himself is a somewhat tragic character. He's doing everything he's doing for his lady love, and that is death. When we hear a noise, the sky starts to rain blood. We don't know what the fuck is going on until we get the appearance of Cosmic Ghost Rider, who comes rushing in on his bike. And basically he is there with an offer for Thanos. He's saying, you need to come with me. And Thanos is like, whatever, go fuck yourself. But he uses his hell chains to ensnare Thanos. Tells Thanos he has a piece of the time stone, which Thanos is rather confused about. And then heads off into the future. Millions of years into the future, actually. Where he comes to bring Thanos. Thanos has no idea why he is here until he meets Cosmic Ghost Rider's Lord, which is himself. So basically he sent Ghost Rider back into the past to capture his younger self, to bring him to the future for some plan of some description. We get a little bit of backstory on Thanos as he was being born. His mother went insane after giving birth to him and speaking his true name. We see everything here that Thanos has done in the past, going up against Adam Warlock, the Avengers and whatnot from the Infinity Gauntlet series, and so on. And we see what Thanos has done in the future, how he has gone from being this Thanos to this Thanos, how he has taken out the heroes, how he has killed them, and how he has basically won. We have a few constants in the Marvel Universe. The Phoenix burns, Galactus devours, the Watchers witness, the Celestials judge, Thanos lives, Thanos denies, killing Black Bolts there, Thanos wins. So Thanos is basically going over all of this with his younger self, and his younger self is like, I'm not having any of this, and just punches him right in the fucking face. They get into a little bit of a shouting match before Cosmic Ghost Rider steps in, kind of puts a stop to it. And the older Thanos gets down on his knees and asks the younger Thanos for help, which he is not having, and they continue to fight. Eventually, the older Thanos kind of prevails and shows the younger Thanos why he has brought him to the future. It's because he wants to court death again. There is the statue of death. Those of you that are not familiar with Thanos' comic book origins, especially the Infinity Gauntlet, the whole purpose of Thanos collecting the Infinity Gems and putting the Infinity Gauntlet was to kill half of creation in order to basically make death happy. That was the comic book version. Of course, you couldn't do that in the movies, but there you go. We find out that Thanos has been using Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider has an ability called a penance stare, where when he looks into someone's eyes, they see all the evil that they have ever done. And it's supposed to kind of be a punishment for them. Thanos doesn't use it like that. Thanos revels in all the evil that he's done by forcing Ghost Rider every morning to give him the penance stare, which is pretty messed up. So they basically are planning on what they are going to do over kind of breakfast. The elder Thanos lets the younger Thanos know that they are awaiting the arrival of the Fallen One. That is who they have to defeat in order to get things going. At this point, Ghost Rider invites the young Thanos to go down and feed the pet, and we find out that that is the Incredible Hulk, who is basically still alive because he's the Incredible Hulk, and Thanos has been keeping him here and kind of just feeding him aliens and whatnot. So eventually the elder Thanos and the younger Thanos kind of get into another discussion. Young Thanos is impatient. The elder Thanos is like, you kind of just have to wait, and he draws Surtur's Twilight, the Sword of Doom, which the older Thanos now has because Thanos has won. He has killed everybody. They kind of have back and forth about what they need to do and what's going on before they start to hear this noise. They don't know what the noise is, but, you know, they just assume that it's the person they've been waiting for. And it is the Silver Surfer, former Herald of Galactus. Now, not silver anymore, but he is black, covered in darkness. Now we find out a little bit about how Cosmic Ghost Rider came to be. We have Frank Castle as the Punisher, who basically witnessed the end of all of the heroes. You see dead Spider-Man, him ripping apart Iron Man, and Frank Castle, with his dying breath, makes a deal with the devil. He makes a deal with Mephisto, and he becomes Ghost Rider. Unfortunately, there's nobody left on Earth, so Frank Castle as Ghost Rider starts to lose his mind completely. And that is when Galactus appears to devour the Earth, finding nobody here but Frank Castle, who has now gone completely and utterly insane as Ghost Rider. Galactus makes a deal with him and gives him the power cosmic. So Frank Castle, Punisher, as Ghost Rider, now also becomes a Herald of Galactus. Excuse me, my voice is giving way a little bit. Ghost Rider wants Galactus' help to take out Thanos. But Thanos takes out Galactus instead and offers Ghost Rider the opportunity to kind of be his herald now, which Ghost Rider gladly accepts. And that's how we get Ghost Rider with the powers, with the power cosmic, working for Thanos. They battle the Silver Surfer and his kind of legions, and we're still getting this noise that is coming. Ghost Rider kind of joins in with his Hellfire and stuff, and the noise is getting kind of louder, and they don't really understand what it is until we see it is Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which Silver Surfer can wield, because Mjolnir can only be wielded by someone worthy enough to hold it, and of course Silver Surfer is worthy enough to hold it. Okay, part 5 of Thanos Wins. Silver Surfer has basically defeated young Thanos, and he's just absolutely kicking ass with Mjolnir. Cosmic Ghost Rider comes in to try and help, only to be utterly killed by Silver Surfer wielding Mjolnir, who just basically destroys Cosmic Ghost Rider, a being of supreme supernatural power with the power cosmic, pardon me, which Silver Surfer once wielded, but no longer. The Hulk bursts out of the ground. Silver Surfer basically is not worried about this because Silver Surfer knows the Hulk knows Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer kind of calms him down, gets him to revert back into Bruce Banner. At this point, Thanos and Silver Surfer have a little bit of a back and forth, getting ready to do battle, before the elderly Thanos, using the distraction, stabs Silver Surfer through the back with Twilight, thus ending the reign of the Silver Surfer, so to speak, and possibly finishing what he brought young Thanos to the future, to which they cut off Silver Surfer's arm, holding Mjolnir, and basically just destroy him until there is nothing left. Young Thanos wonders why, like, are we done here? Is this it? And they see death coming, so clearly this is what elderly Thanos wanted all along. So they see death. She's in a wedding dress, and the elderly Thanos is happy. Young Thanos is like, you fucking used me, what the fuck is going on? Until he realizes, oh, wait a second, you didn't bring me here to kill the Silver Surfer. Elderly Thanos brought young Thanos here to kill himself. Elderly Thanos wants to die, and in death can he be with death. Thanos is clearly pissed off about this. They get into another protracted fight, really brutal, with them literally punching the living crap out of each other. And the young Thanos ultimately is victorious, but instead of killing the elderly Thanos, he lets him live, as much as the elderly Thanos is begging him to kill him. The young Thanos says, "Kings do not beg," which is what he said in issue 1 on the Chitauri planet, when the Chitauri king was begging him to let him live. He takes the time stone from the elderly Thanos and travels back to his own time. The elderly Thanos is trying to get Death's attention, but of course it doesn't ultimately work, and Death is left alone. What did I think about Thanos Wins? It was an awesome story. It really was. I love the idea of kind of using these characters in a new and unique way, especially Frank Castle as Cosmic Ghost Rider. An idea that on the surface seems fucking stupid, but ultimately it works really, really well. Then we go to the Thanos Annual. We have Ghost Rider laying somewhere drinking mead, and he's talking about how Thanos basically became the way he did, the things that Thanos has done in the past that are so completely evil. We see here a little green girl that Thanos is basically making fight in this arena. And we're led to believe that this is Gamora, Thanos' adopted daughter, until she is beheaded by this figure in armor. and we discover that the figure in armor is in fact Gamora. So Thanos basically enjoyed watching his adoptive daughter just kill a whole lot of people. He enjoyed warping her and turning her into an assassin. Then we come to this kind of twisted story where Thanos keeps appearing to this boy, and nobody else can see him except the boy, and he basically just ruins this kid's life. All aspects of his life just get ruined because Thanos just keeps messing with him as another way of kind of doing evil, in that he can do evil on a cosmic scale. He can do evil on such a small scale by just destroying one person. Then we get Mephisto, and Thanos basically, he's asking him, how do I get Death's attention? And he creates, destroys planets to create this pattern for Death. We get a really weird tale about these little bunny things and how Thanos kind of messes with them. The Infinity Gauntlets, of course, and the time that Thanos helped an old lady across the street. Now, this is really, really interesting because what Thanos actually does here is he messes up. Well, he doesn't mess up the life, but this lady here, she was destined to meet someone who would ultimately put her on a path where she would cure diseases and she would go on to do a lot of good for humanity. But because Thanos helped this old lady across the street, they never meet, and she ultimately doesn't help humanity and ends up kind of dying alone, which in and of itself is pretty sick, but there you go. And then this is Thanos basically destroying the religion of a whole bunch of aliens, telling them that there's nothing after death, no matter what you believe, and kind of ruining it for them that way. And then at the end, after Cosmic Ghost Rider has told all of these stories about Thanos, we see him visited by Odin, who welcomes him into Valhalla. And we find out that Frank Castle, aka Ghost Rider, aka Herald of Galactus, is actually dead and in the halls of Valhalla, which was quite a nice little twist. I honestly didn't see that one coming. And this was a pretty good annual. I liked the different stories, and I liked how it was narrated by Frank Castle, who has seen a lot and knows a lot of what Thanos has done, having worked with him for millions and millions of years. Then we go to Cosmic Ghost Rider issues 1 to 5. This was a really cool story. So it starts with Frank Castle as Soldier. His family dies. He becomes the Punisher. He ultimately dies, goes to hell, becomes Ghost Rider, is driven mad, meets Galactus, gets the power cosmic, meets Thanos, meets Death, and ultimately dies when Silver Surfer kills him. So if you hadn't read any of the Thanos storyline from previously, this was a really excellent way to catch the reader up. And now we have Frank Castle in Valhalla, just kind of causing shit, as he is wont to do. And Odin is like, what are you doing, buddy? I brought you here basically because it was unfair that you died by Jolnir, and I thought you deserved a hero's rest, but you're being quite an ungrateful little shit. And Frank Castle is like, I never asked for any of this. I don't want to be here. Send me back. And Odin's like, all right, if that's what you want. He has the bike, and he agrees to give Frank Castle his powers back, the power cosmic, the power of Ghost Rider, with the bike, and send him back. But that's it. That's his last kind of shot. So he gets all the power, doesn't go mad, thankfully, but he does know where he wants to go, and he has Odin send him to Titan. This is the planet that Thanos was born on, and he has him send him back when Thanos is a baby. He is going to kill baby Thanos in order to stop all of the evil, but when he tries to do it, baby Thanos attacks him. Ghost Rider gives baby Thanos the penance stare and discovers that baby Thanos is in fact innocent. And the penance stare doesn't work. So instead he decides, you know what? I'm going to knock out baby Thanos. I'm going to kidnap him, and I'm going to raise him correctly so he never becomes evil. So now we have, okay, let's see if you can follow this. Now we have Frank Castle, the Punisher, as Ghost Rider, with the power cosmic, taking baby Thanos to raise him so that he won't become evil. What the living fuck? That is awesome. So, Cosmic Ghost Rider, okay, I mean, look at this cover. You've just got a giant space shark. Come on. I mean, fucking genius. Anyway, so they're on a planet. They're in a bar. Cosmic Ghost Rider has baby Thanos wrapped up in his chains, and he's drinking. And baby Thanos and Ghost Rider are just talking about morality and murder and things like that. The bartender gets all pissed off. You can't have a baby in here. Baby Thanos gets angry. Ghost Rider kind of reins him in, and then everyone in the bar is like, okay, you want to fight? Let's fight. At which point Galactus arrives. Everyone is kind of freaking out. Cosmic Ghost Rider says, hey, don't worry, I've got this. So they're all like, awesome. But he doesn't actually have it. He's not planning to do anything to save these people. And baby Thanos is like, why did you tell them that you're going to help them when you're not? And he's like, you got to give them hope. And that's when all of these kind of star sharks come. Galactus pretty much, devours everything. They fight the star sharks. And then we get kind of some freaky deaky Cosmic Ghost Rider history, because in this timeline, Galactus doesn't know what has gone on. So this is kind of playing with space and time. This would have happened before Frank Castle got the power cosmic from Galactus, so Galactus is slightly confused about everything, but kind of realizes what's going on. And Galactus basically realizes what Frank Castle is trying to do and says, listen, I will kill baby Thanos. Frank Castle is like, fuck no, and then the Watcher appears. Now, those of you that don't know Uatu, the Watcher, the Watchers kind of look out for, or basically observe all points of interest throughout kind of history. And this Watcher, the Watchers aren't allowed to get involved, but for some reason this Watcher gets involved in every fucking chance that he can. So he warns Ghost Rider that what you're doing is actually not going to work. Pardon me. Ghost Rider is like, fuck you, buddy. It is going to work. And then we get a visit by the Guardians of the Galaxy who want Thanos, who want the baby Thanos. Now, this isn't Guardians of the Galaxy as you know it. You know Guardians of the Galaxy as, Star-Lord, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Gamora, and Drax the Destroyer from the movies and also from the comic book series. But because Frank Castle has fucked up the timeline, we have Cable, Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel with a shield, however, Jubilee, Rocket Raccoon in a suit of armor made from Groot, and possibly the greatest thing I have seen in comics in a long, long time, Howard the Duck as Juggernaut with the Crimson Gem of Cyttorak. Are you fucking kidding me? So the Watcher basically warns them about what's going on. Come on, dude. Come on. Howard the Duck is the Juggernaut. Jesus fucking Christ. Donny Cates is a fucking genius. Ghost Rider is trying to protect baby Thanos. Miss Marvel throws the Captain America shield that hits Cosmic Ghost Rider. We get a little bit of a kind of a description. Iron Groot, Rocket piloting a mech suit made out of his tree buddy, Shut Up You Like It. Juggerduck, a duck named Howard in possession of the Gem of Cyttorak, ducking unstoppable. I mean, come on, the puns here are just delightful. So Cable basically just wants Thanos. Cosmic Ghost Rider basically tells him no. And then Galactus comes and just fucking destroys everybody except for Cable, who body slides into the future and then comes back with Pym particles, allowing him to get the drop on Galactus. Cosmic Ghost Rider goes after him again, but he body slides again and comes back with more heroes. We can see Gambit, the Thing, Cloak and Dagger. Not sure who this is. Ghost Rider kind of realizes what is going on. Cable keeps jumping 1 year into the future, 2 years, 10 years, learning, getting better, getting more weapons, jumping back to attack Cosmic Ghost Rider. But Cosmic Ghost Rider just keeps defeating everything that Cable throws at him in some of the best, the most beautiful pages I have seen in comics in a long, long time. Now, what's funny about this is Ghost Rider is trying to teach baby Thanos, you don't kill. You don't have to kill. But every time Cable brings people back, Cosmic Ghost Rider kills them. So baby Thanos is basically watching Ghost Rider kill a whole ton of people when he's trying to teach baby Thanos not to kill, which is just hilarious. Ultimately, we find out that baby Thanos has just been ripping people apart. Ghost Rider's like, I told you not to do that. You shouldn't kill. And he ends up killing Cable. Or does he? He is joined by Thanos Punisher. Thanos Punisher, this page, just strolling through rivers of blood, dressed like the Punisher because this is baby Thanos that has been raised by Frank Castle. Holy shit, was this awesome. Thus, you can see why I love Donny Cates so fucking much as a writer. So Thanos meets baby Thanos and Cosmic Ghost Rider and basically shows him the world that Frank Castle kind of raised him in and that they created. He sees how peaceful it is. Baby Thanos eats a butterfly for some reason. And Thanos is basically, this is how you raised me. Unfortunately, he's dead, and Thanos takes Cosmic Ghost Rider Frank Castle and shows him this is why the world is the way it is, because we've created this concentration camp, so to speak, where anyone that commits violence is put here. And Frank is like, wait a minute, I didn't want you to grow up like this. What you're doing is wrong. And he's like, I'm punishing them. You taught me to punish people. I'm the Punisher. You are the Punisher. They get into a heated argument over whether or not this is morally right. And Thanos is like, well, look over there. There's you and your wife. Why do you see this as wrong when I've done what you taught me to do and it's worked? And Frank is like, this isn't at all what I wanted. And they get into a fight. And Thanos basically beats the shit out of Frank Castle, of course. And takes baby Thanos and says to Frank, you can still be my Herald if you want to be. So we kind of see the tables being turned a bit here. Oh, wow. Great art. Frank ultimately rejects Thanos' offer, knocking him into the city, becoming Cosmic Ghost Rider again, and they get into a huge fight. And Frank basically tells everyone, I've defeated Thanos, you're free. He kills Thanos, and here we have Hope Summers. You might remember Hope from the Messiah Complex video, that little baby that all the mutants were kind of fighting over. That's Hope Summers. And he basically tells her, okay, you've got Hope now. And then a young Frank is playing with baby Thanos. Old Frank takes baby Thanos off into the distance and ends up returning baby Thanos to Titan in the past, where he can grow up to be Thanos. He sees Death standing there, and Death is basically thanks him for returning Thanos and for teaching Thanos kind of everything. And then Cosmic Ghost Rider, rides off into the sunset. Absolutely batshit fucking crazy storyline, but I swear to God, I need more Juggerduck. I need more Howard the Duck as the Juggernaut. That idea is just phenomenal. Thanos' legacy. So we basically see what Thanos kind of has achieved, what he will bring, what he will kind of achieve in the future. We see him kind of taking out everyone and ultimately being killed. Or is he? He gets decapitated. They take his head, and we find Thanos' brother, Eros, kind of working to get what Thanos was protecting. And inside Thanos' body, we see the Infinity Stones. Kind of, he had embedded it around his heart, is what we actually find out there. This was an okay story. Didn't really bring anything new, however. Now we go to the death of the Inhumans. Now, the Inhumans, not really a group that I've followed in comics or that I really care about. I know who they are and I know what they can do, but ultimately, not really something that I particularly give a shit about. So we start with the history of the kind of Kree Empire, how they created all of these different Inhumans to be soldiers for the Kree, giving them all special powers and whatnot. And then the Supreme Intelligence, the Kree Supreme Intelligence, realizes that's not a good idea and ultimately goes around terminating all of these tribes of Inhumans. And that leads us to the Inhumans that we know, namely Black Bolt, Medusa, Lockjaw, and a few others. So Black Bolt is writing down the names of all of the dead Inhumans that have come with a threat, join or die. So when their bodies are discovered, that is the threat that is kind of with them. Black Bolt, his power is his voice. That's why he never talks. He talks through sign language, because if he does speak, he can actually kind of kill people. So his wife Medusa, her power is her hair. Basically, the Inhumans, all of the different tribes of Inhumans have come, and Black Bolt is going to address them. And when he arrives, he sees that they are all dead. They have been killed. And they've been killed by this character called Vox. They don't know who Vox is or even what he can do. But it is a trap, and the building blows up. They barely manage to escape with their lives, and they get Lockjaw to try and teleport them away. And here is where we meet Vox. While they have been on this mission, Vox has gone to New Arctalan, which is the Inhumans' home, and he has basically slaughtered everyone there. He finds Maximus. Maximus is Black Bolt's brother. Maximus is also kind of crazy and has wanted to become the leader of the Inhumans for many, many years. They fight. Medusa is being looked after because she got wounded in the bomb blast. We have Crystal and Lockjaw, and Vox and Maximus kind of are fighting, and Maximus gets taken out. Black Bolt is kind of worried about what's going on. They hurry back. They get Lockjaw within teleportation range so that they can teleport. And Lockjaw finds Vox fighting Maximus. Lockjaw decides to help, but ultimately is taken out along with Maximus by Vox using his scream, very similar to Black Bolt's power. When they return back, Black Bolt finds everyone dead. That leads into issue 2. Crystal finds Lockjaw's kind of little headpiece. So she believes Lockjaw to be dead. Black Bolt is getting more and more angry with everything that is going on. So they decide to launch a mission to go against the Kree. Okay. The Kree are talking about kind of joining, having Black Bolt join. Black Bolt has sent an emissary. They believe it is to surrender, but it is not. And then Vox appears and stabs him in the side. And as he is kind of falling, Black Bolt appears with his scream, takes out a number of the Kree soldiers, and is about to finish the battle when Vox basically uses the prisoner as leverage. He teleports behind Black Bolt. Black Bolt, whose weapon is his vocal cords, and he slits his throat, leaving Black Bolt his fate unknown. Fantastic art in this issue. Medusa, realizing something's wrong, starts to cut her hair. They manage to find the prisoner who has been freed. Pardon me. And you find out that the Kree have Black Bolt and they are stitching his throat up. Now, they believe he no longer has any power. The reason they believe this is because Vox has basically said, we've been doing this with no anesthetic, and so Black Bolt can feel everything and he hasn't screamed. That must mean his scream doesn't work anymore. Just vicious. They have him as a prisoner. He can barely use his voice now, but still enough that he is able to escape just by whispering names. You can imagine his throat has been cut, and so all he has left is this whisper, and it's still powerful enough to help his escape. So Medusa decides to launch a rescue mission. In the meantime, Black Bolt comes across Ronan the Accuser. Ronan the Accuser was fantastic in Guardians of the Galaxy. Ronan the Accuser is an absolute fucking prick in Marvel Champions the Living card game. The less said about him, the better. And the Kree have him kind of hooked up to these machines, and they are transforming him and experimenting on him, and he asks Black Bolt to kill him. He apologizes for all the wrongs that he has ever done to the Inhumans, and Black Bolt ends up killing him. The rescue mission has the rest of the Inhumans landing on a planet. They need help, and there's only one person that they know that can help, and they have come to find Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill, of course, being the only other being in the universe, Silver Surfer notwithstanding, that can wield Mjolnir. He once had the power of Thor. He very famously used to go on adventures with Lockjaw. Lockheed is a little dragon that Kitty Pryde has. And he has his own kind of Stormbreaker weapon here. So we get a little bit of backstory about Beta Ray Bill and Lockjaw and the kind of things they would do, the adventures they would go on. And when he discovers that Lockjaw is in trouble, he says, I will definitely help. So they decide to go and rescue Black Bolt, or at the very least get revenge for all of the Inhumans that are dying. Black Bolt is using his voice, however, he can't use his powerful scream. After he uses that, he's not going to be able to do it again. That's how damaged his throat is. So he kind of goes on this kind of killing rampage, killing the Kree, and eventually he is confronted by Vox, and Vox is like, I'm going to finish you, but just in time, the rescue party arrives and Beta Ray Bill smashes Vox with his hammer, and they get into a struggle. Black Bolt and Medusa are reunited, but at this point, Vox uses his powers on Crystal and disintegrates her. And everyone is like, oh my god, what the fuck? Is Crystal dead? They beat the living shit out of Vox. But we find out that no, Crystal is not dead. That the scream actually teleports the people and doesn't actually kill them. So she is in a Kree lab where she sees all of the other Inhumans that we believed were dead. They are not. They have been teleported here to create an army of Voxes. So basically the Kree are using the Inhumans, who were their experiments to begin with, in order to create an army of super soldiers that they can use in battle. Okay, we come to Death of the Inhumans, Part 5. Black Bolt manages to get his costume back. He is warned that he can't use his voice anymore. If he does, if he screams, that's going to be the end. And they decide to kind of head off. They have a moment of silence for all of the fallen Inhumans. Of course, Black Bolt using sign language. Beta Ray Bill doesn't know what is going on. And they crash into the Kree homeworld in their ship. And they come out ready for battle. However, Vox is there with a kind of a mind-wiped Lockjaw. We find out that this Vox is actually Crystal, so they're going to have to fight two of their own. Lockheed does what Lockheed does. More Voxes appear, so the fight gets more protracted. And then Black Bolt realizes exactly what these Voxes are. And if the Inhumans are going to live, the only thing he can do is to kill them all. So actually, what he does is all of the Inhumans that have been experimented on, Black Bolt with one scream kills them all, thus wiping out a ton of Inhumans, while at the same time saving him and his family and freeing Crystal and Lockjaw from the mind control that they were under. And Lockjaw teleports them all away, thus ending the storyline, Death of the Inhumans. Quite a poignant ending, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story, even though I'm not a huge fan of the Inhumans. It was still a really, really good read. Now we move on to Silver Surfer Black. The first time I saw Black Silver Surfer was in Donny Cates' early Thor issues, and I didn't quite know why Silver Surfer was black. This is the story of how he gets that. So we have Silver Surfer as the Herald of Galactus, of course. We all know that Silver Surfer started out as a man named Norin Raad, who was in love with Shalabal, and Galactus came to devour his planet, and he made a deal with Galactus. If you spare my planet, I will find you other planets to devour, and that is how he became the Silver Surfer. Now, at some point, he gets caught up with Cosmic Ghost Rider, Beta Ray Bill, and some others, and they are kind of in a void. I'm not exactly sure when or how this happened, but Silver Surfer uses his powers to make sure that they all escape except for him. So he sacrifices himself to get them out of this void that they are stuck in. And ultimately, he basically exists in nothingness, but he manages to see a light and get his surfboard, where he comes to this planet. He's never been here before. He doesn't know what the planet is. He meets these three goddesses who attack him. He fights back, and ultimately in the battle discovers that he is on the planet of Null. Now, Null is God, I guess, God of the symbiotes, which, you know, Venom, Carnage, all that. Null is an incredibly powerful being who wields this kind of nightmarish blade here. And Silver Surfer has now met Null. Okay, so we can see that Silver Surfer's hand is starting to go black. He's using his power cosmic, and that's basically creating a darkness within him that is translating to his body. He fights Null, manages to escape, and discovers that he is basically at the dawn of time. So Silver Surfer is at the very beginning of everything. Null kind of chases him down. All the while, you know, we get this idea of like the symbiotes and whatnot. At the same time, the Silver Surfer is hearing this voice in his head that's kind of guiding him. He breaks away from Null, follows the voice while being pursued by the god of the symbiotes. And the chase kind of continues through space. Null is kind of gaining on him, but he manages to get away. Silver Surfer is the only being that has actually been able to hurt Null, which is why Null hates him so much. And he finally arrives at the source of the voice, Ego, the living planet. Ego, you might remember as Kurt Russell from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So Silver Surfer sees kind of his lady love. We get a little bit of an origin story, of course. And basically he and Ego talking. He wants help in defeating Null. And he's asking Ego for help. He lands on Ego. Of course, he asks him first, is it okay to land on you? And Ego's like, yeah, thank you for asking. But something happens and Ego finds himself in a lot of pain. Something has wounded him. And the Silver Surfer is like, what is it? Let me fix it. If I fix it for you, will you help me against Null? And so Silver Surfer basically goes into Ego's core and discovers what it is that hurt him. It is this. Silver Surfer has seen this before. This is the Incubation Cube that houses Galactus. You might remember from the Thor video that Galactus was a Herald, or basically was from another multiverse and was shunted into this one to be a Herald for the Black Winter. So this is the Incubation Cube that has landed on Ego. Silver Surfer manages to get it out, thus helping Ego to feel better, and he tosses it, like just kind of gets rid of it. The Watcher appears to the Surfer. They basically talk about what he's done with the Incubation Cube. The Surfer wants to destroy it. The Watcher says you can't. And ultimately, Surfer meets Galactus. Basically, this is like the different ways that Galactus sees the Surfer: as a serpent, as a wolf, believing him trying to steal his power, which is not the case. He addresses Galactus by his actual name and kind of informs him on what he's going to do and what he is going to become. At this point, he understands how to defeat Null, and he asks Ego if he will help. Ego says, yes. Yes, I will. So now we have the Surfer, a lot of like trippy imagery and whatnot. The Surfer realizing that what he has to do to defeat Null is basically use his power cosmic, create stars, planets, all that kind of thing. And he ends up taking out Null. In doing so, he uses up his power cosmic, finds himself kind of coming apart, creates worlds, creates universes, creates a lot of things. And in doing so, in using his power cosmic this way, he's no longer the Silver Surfer. He is Silver Surfer Black. A pretty good way to end this collection. I have to admit, I enjoyed the Silver Surfer story. Not as good as the Thanos ones. Cosmic Ghost Rider was by far my favorite. Absolutely loved that. And Death of the Inhumans was pretty cool as well. But Marvel Cosmic Universe by Donny Cates really shows just what a powerhouse of imagination Donny Cates is. Absolutely fantastic collection. One of my favorites that has come out in the last 5 or so years. Well worth checking out anything by Donny Cates. Or if you're too fucking lazy to do that, just keep watching my channel, because the Plaguelands Media crew are going to be exploring more stuff like this in the future. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. But most importantly, stay safe. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And whatever you do, read a fucking book, people.